Oh, it's quick. It really pushes you in the seat. Hey guys, today we have a 2026 Cadillac OPTIQ. So the OPTIQ is Cadillac's entry-level EV. It starts at around $52,000 and goes up to $69K. We have 3 powertrain options and they all use an 85 kilowatt-hour battery pack. We start with a rear-wheel drive model which makes 315 horsepower and has 317 miles of range. Then we have a dual-motor all-wheel drive which makes 440 horses and around 300 miles of range. Finally, there is top-of-the-line OPTIQ V with 519 horsepower and 275 miles of range. Obviously, just like most EVs that GM has released in the past few years, this thing sits on the BEV3 platform. So we have a strut-front suspension, multi-link setup in the back, combined with frequency selective dampers. So they're not electronically adjustable, but can change the way they work based on how you drive the car. So they can get a little bit more firm and provide better handling, or soften up and give you better ride quality. We have 21-inch rims on our tester, wrapped in Continental cross-contact 275/40 tires, and that's obviously a squared setup. Let me know what you guys think about the design. I really like Cadillac's current design language. I think it works well. It blends in a little bit of retro design with modern styling and is very eye-catching. We don't have a frunk up front. That's where GM decided to put all of the powertrain components, but we do have a charging port because we have to charge this thing somehow. It's an NACS or NACS charging port, so it's compatible with Tesla's superchargers. You can get it from 0 to 100 using level 2 in about 6 to 10 hours. Using a fast charger will give you around 80 miles in 10 minutes. Let's take a quick look inside and talk about the interior space, starting with the seats. Very comfortable. They are heated and cooled in our premium sport model. I wish there was an extensible thigh support so I can have better support for my legs, but I can live without it. They're very nice, provide decent support and overall comfort. They don't have a massage mode, but what you can do is enable your lumbar support to inflate and deflate to help with fatigue on longer trips. We have very deep door pockets that are also pretty big. AKG sound system, which sounds pretty good, and easy step in height as you would expect from a compact SUV. We don't have a start-stop button. All we have to do is put a foot on the brake and the car wakes up to life. When it comes to design, it's pretty similar to what we've seen in other electric Cadillacs. Very nice interior quality, good mix of materials. Build quality is also something that I cannot complain about. We still have a decent amount of physical controls, like our climate controls, controller for the infotainment system, dimmer for the gauge cluster and the interior illumination. Decent amount of storage across the cabin with this open console concept. Cannot complain about the storage under the armrest either. And to open the glove box, we unfortunately have to use this screen. Speaking of the screen, it's an Android automotive-based unit. Unfortunately, doesn't support Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. I know, not the best thing to not have in a new vehicle. I haven't really experienced any cons of not having Apple CarPlay, but I do understand that some people have smartphone dedicated apps that they cannot download from Google Store. So it would be nice to have it, especially since the software is already there. I don't know why GM decides not to just enable it and give it to customers. But the infotainment system itself is pretty logically laid out. You can use it as a touchscreen or this controller over here. Good quality of the image at night, so it's not gonna blind you. The contrast and black levels are pretty decent. And here we can control our gauge cluster, change the design of our gauges. For example, energy view, have a map view, the assist, and more of a clean design. Also access the trip computer, control our headlights because who needs a physical switch for that, and the head-up display, which is right here. Alrighty, let's take a look at the second row of seats and see what it's like to be in there. The door opens pretty wide. That's always a plus. I'm 6'1" and have a decent amount of legroom and headroom. We have very nice and big panoramic sunroof. Cadillac carried over the materials from the first row, so everything is very nice to the touch. Cup holders hidden in the center armrest, climate vents, heated outer seats, 2 USB-C charging ports, household power outlets, so everything you and your passengers will need. Very nice and open concept. The only con of this cabin is visibility. As you can tell, the windows aren't all that big and the D-pillar here is massive. So when you maneuver, there are some blind spots that are not ideal. Let's take a look at the trunk. We press the Cadillac logo to reveal it. It's not huge, but it's a job done for a compact car. We can drop the seats from here. Easy to reach to expand our cargo area. Just like that, and use some extra storage underneath here. There's a sticker for our tester, the 2026 OPTIQ Premium Sport in Monarch Orange and Noir interior. The total price is $62,557, but I can guarantee you, if you want to have the same exact car, you're gonna pay a little bit less, because Cadillac has pretty good deals on the OPTIQ, and that's in general the case with most EVs. All right, let's fold the seats back up and hit the road. See how this thing drives. Take a quick look at our camera system. Works pretty okay. I can drive. And let's take off. What kind of drive modes we have? We have Tour, Sport, Snow and Ice, or My Mode. We're gonna keep it in Tour for now. And I can already tell you the suspension does an amazing job on this unpaved road. It's also super quiet. I've experienced softly tuned cars, but the suspension was working very, very loudly. Not the case in the OPTIQ. Getting all those mixed up. Let's put into Sport. We'll see how it accelerates. 440 horsepower. Oh, it's quick. It really pushes you in the seat. Yeah, so again, we have 440 horsepower coming out of 2 electric motors. The powertrain calibration in Cadillac's EVs has always been very strong, and I have no complaints. If I were to choose a fully electric luxury EV, it would probably be between BMW or a Cadillac. We have really, really well calibrated powertrain systems which work well, are very efficient, and can give you some fun. You can use regen on demand by using this pedal. It's going to maximize the regenerative braking power. Obviously, we have one pedal drive on as well. It's pretty tossable. Yes, it weighs over 50 to 100 pounds, but there's a little bit of rotation, so the all-wheel drive system works nice, and I'm having more fun in it than I thought I would. Some safe understeer here, and there is noticeable lean and body roll. Those dampers are doing their best to keep us in place, but I don't hate it. Matter of fact, I am really curious how the OPTIQ V drives. Okay, we're gonna let this gentleman go. He can go much faster than we can. I also have no complaints about the braking system itself. Obviously, when you use pedal drive, for the most time you're gonna be using regen braking, but when friction brakes have to kick in, they're very nice. You can nicely modulate your braking power. Just wish the steering provided more feedback. But wow, I'm surprised how naturally it rotates. That is pretty cool. They did a very good job with programming both electric motors and how they talk to each other. It's gonna be a pretty tight corner. Yeah, there was understeer, and traction and stability control kicked in to slow us down. But wow, it's pretty cool. I mean, most EVs are fun to drive because they have that instantaneous torque, and it feels like you're driving a hypercar, but also other elements of the vehicle have to be tuned well, and that's the case with the OPTIQ. Obviously, it's not made for the driving that we just did. That's why you want to get the OPTIQ V, but as a daily, this thing is also fantastic. Great cabin isolation. We have laminated side windows, and obviously, since this is an EV, there's no NVH coming from the drivetrain, and the battery pack that sits on the floor provides some extra sound isolation. using the car is not frustrating whatsoever. We don't have as many physical controls as we did in the past, but all the crucial stuff is here. It's very easily accessible, and I've been enjoying driving every single EV from Cadillac. That includes the OPTIQ, the Lyriq, and the Vistiq. Haven't had a chance to drive the Escalade IQ yet, but I don't know how I would feel about it. Escalade should be that body-on-frame SUV with a V8. But going back to the OPTIQ, has very nice dimensions, easy to maneuver and drive around car, and has a pretty efficient powertrain. That's one thing about GM's Ultium architecture. They have one of the best drivetrains on the market, and that's crazy because you cannot say the same thing about their internal combustion engines. We have a couple of different ways to obviously drive it besides the drive modes itself. You can disable one pedal drive, so as you lift up the accelerator, the car is just gonna simply coast, and you use friction brakes to slow this thing down. Then you can have one pedal drive, which should also give us an option to select two different levels of it. Okay, here we go, set level to high, so you can get the most out of that region braking and recover energy, and it is very noticeable. Requires some time to getting used to, but honestly, after a week, you'll drive it and hardly touch your brake pedal. Super nicely and smoothly set up in the OPTIQ. You can lease a pretty well-equipped model for around $350, so if you can negotiate a very low down payment, you're gonna have a great daily. It's practical, doesn't give you range anxiety, great battery management, and super comfortable. Also, the design, another big thing, looks just great. Cadillac finally found their identity. They have a great design language, and it looks like nothing else on the road. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about the new OPTIQ. I'm gonna have a little bit more fun on my favorite back roads, so stick around if you would like. If not, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.